Remember we met, I could tell by your smile. You hadn't been with a good girl like me in a while. Yeah, you were impressed.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Taz and Linda. This is one half of Taz and Linda. I'm Taz. If y'all watched our last video, you know that today I'm gonna be talking about some safety tips for when you're on the road. This is, to me, one of the more important topics to talk about because safety is key. You know what I'm saying? When you're on the road, you want to be safe. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. You want to make sure that you arrive and you are leaving in one piece in any situation. So today, I wrote down some stuff. I got some notes together so that I can go ahead and give you some of the tips and tricks that we've been using since being on the road. I hope y'all enjoy. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, by the way. So, safety tip 1 that I'm going to go ahead and get into is going to be make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. That's a really big thing in any situation. I mean, whether you're on the road or not, you want to be aware of your surroundings. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's, keeping track of what you're doing and, online and on social media and whatnot. So it is very, very smart when going on the road to be aware of the situation that's at hand, be aware of the environment and the people that surround you, because every place is different. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go into a new state or a new city and just assume, hey, everything is going to be okay, because sometimes it's not always the case. You just want to have your guards up at all times, in a sense, and just be prepared for the worst if that was to happen. Anything can happen on the road, so you just want to be prepared. And one great way to start this off is going to be just be aware of your surroundings. My next thing, safety tip number 2, is going to probably be keep your phone charged. Having your phone charged at all times is going to be really important. So what I do and what me and Linda do, a lot of times we'll charge our phones up at night, and we'll make sure that we have a full charge in the morning. And as the day goes on, we try to use our battery life wisely, you know what I'm saying, so that we could have charge throughout the whole entire day. Because sometimes, I may forget my charger in the car, or she may forget her charger in the car, and you just want to make sure you got enough power to get from A to B. So just in case if you had to make an emergency call, you could go ahead and do that. Another tip would be to have an offline map, meaning that sometimes we've been driving, and while we're on the road, we've come to areas where there is no connection. We don't have good service. So at that time, the charger, not the charger, but the maps, they'll stop working. So we went ahead and we downloaded an app, that's pretty much allowing us to have a map at any given time. So whether I have service or not, I still can be able to find my way, from point A to point B, which is really important. You can also go the old school route and always keep a map in the car as well. That's a smart idea as well. I'm just not as great with maps, so right now I'm sticking to the phone. My next tip, I think, is going to be, you want to have tools. Having tools is going to be important while you're on the road. And having tools is pretty much meaning that if something was to happen with your vehicle at any given time, you can go ahead and, get some things done with the tools you have. I got jumper cables, I got, hammers, screwdrivers, nails, all kinds of tools, different for, different situations. So just in case, if something was to come up, I would be ready, This is the whole point. You want to be prepared. Be prepared for the unforeseen. Be prepared for just whatever, Another thing is going to be, if you're a solo person that's out there in van life, I would suggest that you will always give your coordinates, or you call your friends and family and let them know, hey, this is where I'm going to be, just so you can up your safety. You know what I'm saying? Let someone know where you are, so just in case if something was to happen, you have someone who does know where you were last so that, you know, you can make sure you get some help. Another thing you want to keep in mind when you're on the road as far as safety goes, you may consider carrying a weapon. Everyone is different. It's really dependent on how comfortable you are with these different products out there that they offer. You got stuff like mace, you got stuff like pocket knives, guns, tasers, razors, all kind of things, bats, anything that, you know, probably could cause harm to another person is going to be considered a weapon, and the weapon choice is really going to be up to you as a person, and what you're comfortable with. I like to personally have something that's pretty small, you know, something that I'm able to take with me everywhere and anywhere. For instance, carry a pocket knife, you know, so just in case if anything was to arise, I'm ready, you know. And I suggest you do the same, you know, have something with you at all times, in your van, in your book bag, and on your pocket, on you, you know, just to up your safety during the times when maybe, let's say, you're walking at night instead of in the daytime. You just want to be ready. You want to have the extra comfort in knowing, hey, you got something if you need it. But another thing as well, once you're getting a weapon, whatever weapon you do choose, make sure you know how to use it properly. The worst thing that you could do is have a weapon and then hurt yourself with the weapon. So make sure that if you are going to get a gun, for instance, that you go and take the time needed to the gun range and actually, you know, practice, because you don't want to make a mistake of boom, 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 shooting yourself. Not cool. That's a little off topic, but you get what I'm saying. All right. Another pointer I would give you guys is, this kind of ties back into knowing or being aware of your environment and where you are. I would say to, instead of going through your side doors, go through your front doors. That's something I always do anyway now. We don't go through the side doors, because going through the side doors, it opens up the entire back, and if anyone was passing by us or walking behind us, they're now able to see, you know, what we have going on back there. And that's the last thing I want people to know, because that's the whole point. We're stealth. We don't want you to know what we have going on in the back. Even in uncomfortable situations where, like in the summertime when it's hot, even though it's tempting to leave those doors open, you want to make sure you keep them closed. I lock all my doors at all times. When I'm walking in, I lock the doors. When I'm leaving out, I lock the doors. Going to the gas station, I lock the doors. You always want to lock your doors. You always want to use your front doors, because going through your sides, you know, sometimes can bring attention, unneeded attention to you, you know? What's another thing? Another safety tip, and I learned this early on, was to make sure that you keep your gas tank at, you know, a half tank. Every time you reach your half tank, make sure you go ahead and try to fill up if you have the means to do so, because sometimes you'll find yourself riding on some of these roads where it'll be miles and miles before you find another gas station, before you find another rest stop. So you just want to make sure at all times you got the proper gas in your vehicle so you can get to where you need to be, and you don't have to be stuck in a situation where you're uncomfortable. Another smart thing that you're going to want to do is have a safe place for your valuables. I suggest investing in like a lock box, or even making some special compartments into your van build, so that when you're leaving your van home, you know, you can still have your valuables safe, meaning like your passports, your socials, stuff like that. You want it locked up so that if someone was to get into your vehicle, they're not getting those things, because those things are very important when you're on the road. You want to keep your identification on you all times, so you want to make sure that you got it in a safe place. So make sure you have a safe spot set up for all your important information, like I just mentioned. Another good tip that I had picked up on a little while back was to not give out your location until after you left that location. For instance, if I'm in California, I won't tell you I'm in California until I've left California, only because people watch, people keep track, people are crazy sometimes. So you just don't want to get yourself in a situation where people are able to follow and track you down. So the best way you can do that is by giving that information after the fact. Trust me, your followers, your fans, your friends, they're gonna be okay if they find out maybe 2-3 days after the fact. it's okay to post late. You don't have to post right at that moment, because that gives away you know, your location, and sometimes that can put you in harm, or, you know, kind of like hinder your security, you know. Another good tip, and this is, I guess, more relevant to the nighttime. When nighttime comes, you want to make sure that you are clothed, that you have your keys put in a place where it's easy accessible. And another thing is that you want to make sure that you have a clear exit available, whether that's your side door, your back door, or your front doors. You need to have a clear exit. You need to be ready to go if something was to come up, that you're ready to go. You don't want to be fumbling around for your keys, or trying to put your shirt on, trying to put your shoes on, all that good stuff. You just want to be able to get out your bed and go and get in that driver's seat and go, if that's the case. So you want to make sure when it comes to nighttime, you got those doors locked, you put your keys away, and you have a clear exit available for just in case. Alright, my last thing, and this is mostly the last thing I got for you guys, my little babies. The last thing I got for my little babies is, if you are solo, mostly if you are solo, because there is a lot more females getting on the road and doing this thing, and I give you a shout out. You're very brave, you're very courageous to be doing that, but what I will say is that you have to be that much more on guard and on focus and alert, because you're by yourself. So being by yourself, you want to be sure to keep that on the low. You don't want to tell everybody. If you're, like I said, if you're solo, you don't want to let everyone else know that you're a solo van lifer, because that just means that now you're kind of exposed, you know. Now people know that you're by yourself. Now people knows that if they came and they followed you and they, you know, came to your vehicle, that you're alone, and you're an easier target at that point if you're alone versus with being with someone else. So just keep in mind to just really just be mindful of the little things that you do, as far as posting, as far as those you talk to, and those you give your information out to, because you never know who's watching and who's, you know, looking to, you know, crash your party pretty much. So that's pretty much what I got, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you help us get to that 1K, because we are almost there. We got about 40 more subscribers to go until we hit that 1K. We really appreciate the love. We really appreciate the support. And honestly, I just can't wait to the next video to, you know, drop some more knowledge on y'all. And if y'all like this video, make sure y'all comment that, and let me know too other videos that y'all may want to see that's like this, okay? I hope y'all like this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later.